To all students, I hope from the bottom of my heart that each and every one of you fails. Fails again, and fails some more. I see those confused looks. I get it. As students, we're told failure is not okay. Getting an F? Not good. But when we talk about legacy, the theme of today, when we look at the people behind legacies, we see a history of failure. My name is Shireen Jaffer, and I'm here to show you that legacy is a result of success. But behind every successful woman and man, there is failure. So let's have some fun. Let's talk about my failures. When I was 17, I got fired from a job serving yogurt. And I thought, man, if I can't keep a job swirling yogurt, how am I ever going to be successful? I remember going home that day, telling my parents, because I had to, and I remember pretending I didn't care. It was just another part-time job. I was just a student. But I was devastated. I was so disappointed in myself, and I promised to never let that happen again. That day, that failure, taught me the importance of work ethic. And I worked really hard to develop a great work ethic. By being able to overcome that failure, every single job I had after that, I only got promoted. That failure allowed me to develop a skill set that's going to serve me positively for years to come. But did that mean the failures were over? No, not at all. My first year in college, I was 18. I was so overwhelmed by the new environment, by the new classes, by the 40,000 people. I completely dropped the ball and forgot to set up an internship for myself for the upcoming summer. My high school students, that's like forgetting to apply to college. By the time I started interviewing, my friends had secured internships at Google and JP Morgan and Facebook. Guess where I had my internship? Nowhere. And this is how I felt. So I had a summer of nothing waiting for me. Now, most students, I know you would love a summer of nothing, but when everyone seems to have something really awesome to do every single day, and when everyone seems to have already somehow figured out what their dream job is, you can't help but feel a little misplaced. And I felt like I was completely failing at life. So of course, my stubbornness, I promised myself I would set up an internship for the upcoming year. All summer, I worked hard to do just that. But I ended up finding a lot of students who were in the same boat that I was in. And they needed help trying to find internships. So I ended up starting a project that summer. While I was teaching myself how to find internships, I was teaching other students to do the same. That summer of nothing ended up turning into my dream job. That summer project ended up turning into a California-wide high school program called Skillify. At Skillify, we teach students all across the state how to figure out what they want to do and how to go do it. Thousands of students have gone through that program. And I am that 23-year-old founder of Skillify. By being able to overcome the devastation I felt my first year of college, I was able to find my dream job. That summer of nothing allowed me to say yes to an opportunity where I got to meet President Obama at the age of 18. The work I was doing through Skillify allowed me to meet former President Clinton at the age of 19. That summer of nothing allowed me to find my dream job before the age of 20. Now, that's great, but I know I've got to welcome a lot more failures along the way. I know I've got to be able to overcome them. What's my legacy? I don't know, because I know I've got a long way. I know I have to overcome failure after failure to build onto my success and lead to that legacy. But enough about me, let's talk about some legacies. Let's talk about this girl. This girl had a rough childhood, By the age of 9, she was raped. By the age of 14, she was pregnant. When she finally found the support that she needed, she persevered, worked hard, overcame a ton of challenges, became an honor roll student in high school, landed a part-time job on air, on radio. But her dream was to be on TV during a time when African Americans were rarely seen on television. She ended up becoming the youngest and the first female news anchor, the first African American female news anchor in Nashville. And then at the age of 22, she was fired. She was fired because they thought she was unfit for news. Today, you know this little girl as Oprah. Yeah. We all know Oprah went on to have her TV show that ran for 25 seasons, had millions of viewers every single day. The same girl that was unfit for news went on to be very, very successful. But is her legacy a super popular talk show? No. Her legacy is the impact she had on women, the impact she had on the African American community, the impact she had on anyone struggling, anyone just trying to make it, trying to get to their dream. She was able to use her success, which was her TV show. She was able to use that success to create a process of change making, to create a process of inspiration. That was her legacy. See, the thing about legacies is usually there's something very different than what we think they are. Let's talk about Steve Jobs. Now, most people think iPhone, Apple. Most people think that is his legacy. It's not. Those are his successes. But his legacy is not the iPhone, but how he approached in designing the iPhone. His legacy isn't Apple, but how he approached creating the company like Apple. His legacy is the impact he had on revolutionizing the way people thought of process design, of hardware design, of software design, that designers everywhere now know of. That's his legacy. Now, of course, he needed to be successful to lead his legacy. The iPhone had to take off. That had to happen. But did he do that without failing? No way. The same company he is now known for is the same company he was fired from. And he said in an interview that that is probably the best thing that could have ever happened to him because it fueled creativity that allowed him to build the legacy he has today. We may not realize it, but failure and what we do with that failure often fuels our success and our legacy. Raise your hand if you know who this woman is. Okay. I highly encourage each and every one of you know who this woman is. This is Sheryl Sandberg. She's known to be one of the most successful businesswomen today. She is the COO of Facebook. She is also the founder behind the Lean In movement, a movement that hopes to give women the support they need to go out there and reach their goals. Ask her about her legacy, which someone did back in 2013, to which she responded, "I'm 43. I think I'm a bit too young to be worrying about my legacy." For those of you who are worrying about your legacy, keep in mind, it's a result. Legacy is a result. It's a result of overcoming failure over and over again. So don't worry about the legacy. Just make sure you are welcoming and embracing failure and you are overcoming it. Now, the three people that I mentioned in this talk, they're not the only ones doing this. There are people all over the world, of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all circumstance, that are failing every single day and are overcoming that failure and adding on to their success. Hopefully, that will lead to a legacy that maybe one day a random woman at a TEDx event will talk about too. So my last words to you are, I really hope that you fail. I hope you fail And I hope you have the courage to overcome those failures and create your success. Thank you.